welcome everyone to today's company presentation. With me today I have Niklas Koresaar from Flexion Mobile, and they have just reported their first quarter of the fiscal year. Niklas, you reached quite a milestone when you reported a positive EBITDA for the first time in the quarter. Can you give us some more flavor on the results of that?
Yeah, it's as a CFO, it's a pretty awesome quarter for us actually. So we had we went for this positive profit warning in July, and because revenues grew by 74% over the quarter and 150% over a year, and the gross profit was actually even stronger. So we grew by 83% over the quarter. So we almost doubled both revenues and gross profit over 3 months. So that's pretty amazing. But the gross profit grew by 216% over a year. So it's pretty high numbers. At the same time, we managed to keep the costs more or less flat in the company. So we, as you said, we from last year we had negative EBIT of £500,000. We had a negative EBIT of £200,000 last quarter. We actually show a small profit or a positive EBITDA, which is really good to say as a CFO in a company.
On top of that, you also communicated a new target to reach positive EBITDA on in-app purchases gross margin at the end of the year. Can you tell us what is the difference of this target?
Yes. If you look into the numbers, you see that we introduced a new revenue breakdown in the company. So what we present now is EIP revenue and non-EIP revenue, whereas the first one is the kind of reoccurring in-app payments, and the other is basically everything else. And typically in there you have these integration fees with stores, which carries 100% margin to the company. So they don't have very big effect on revenues, but they are quite distorting if you look on trends on the margin or gross profits. So what we're saying now is that in this quarter we had £170,000 of non-EIP, and that pushed us into black EBITDA. But what we're saying is that we want to have the target is to reach a positive EBITDA on clean EIP without these extra kickers at the end of the year.
And do you expect that is the growth that you experience now, or an increase in this gross margin that will be the main effect of reaching this?
No, so if you look on the quarters, we clearly seen this COVID effect as everyone in gaming. But if you think about it, we had at the beginning of the year we had a number of very big games which was on its way up, and also one new store, which Huawei. So we had a very strong momentum in the company. So basically, we had a very hot burning fire which you poured some petrol on to get it even hotter. But we would have seen a very strong result anyway.
We talked about the general upswing here in mobile gaming, but how do you view the long-term demand for your service now after the spike of COVID-19?
I think it's been, as you see, what have happened is that you see a big shift towards online purchases generally in the whole world. And you also, in our segment of the market, you have time to explore new alternatives. So in the past, you went only into Google and Apple. And nowadays, people are more open to look at are there any offers and marketing campaigns in the other stores. So what we have seen is more and more users coming into these new alternative stores. And that's, of course, something that's going to remain for a long time. So we don't really see this as a short-term effect.
And on that topic, I saw also that you raised your target for a number of new games at the end of the year. Is this the reason that we just discussed, that you see an increased demand?
I think it is. So we had a target of 23 games at the end of the financial year in last quarter, but we already this quarter we signed 5 games and we launched 3, so we kind of almost at that target. So we increased it to 27 games. But for us, we become more known. We get better KPIs to when we attract games. So it's just a general momentum that is slowly and steadily getting stronger here.
And lastly, I also noticed that you have experienced more recurring business from game developers that you have worked with in the past. Can you like give us your thinking of why you have been able to achieve this at this moment?
Yeah, I think it's a great evidence that we actually provide a good service and good result to the developers. So yeah, you're right. It's more and more games that are coming from existing developers. And that's, if you think about it, we are in the top segment of the market, and most developers have a lot of games out there. So it's a perfect position for us to be in, that we both can attract the new developers and work with them when you get one game and then thereafter you try to dig into the whole portfolio of games. So there's a lot for us to do there still.
Okay. By that, I would like to thank you, Niklas, for coming here today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.